I'll never forget the day I stumbled upon the entrance to the underground tunnels beneath our city. I was exploring the abandoned part of town, searching for unique spots to capture for my urban photography project. The streets were empty, and the only sound was the creaking of old wooden signs and the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. As I turned a corner, I noticed a small, rusty door hidden behind a dumpster. It looked like it hadn't been opened in years, but something about it drew me in. I pushed the door open, and a musty smell wafted out, making me wrinkle my nose. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay and mold. I fumbled for my flashlight and stepped inside, my heart racing with excitement and a hint of fear. The door creaked shut behind me, and I heard the sound of scraping and scuttling coming from deeper within the tunnel. At first, I thought it was just rats, but as I walked further, the noises grew louder and began to sound like whispers. I started to feel a chill run down my spine, but my curiosity kept me moving forward. The tunnel was narrow, with old brick walls and a low ceiling. I had to duck to avoid hitting my head on the exposed pipes and wires. The air was cold and damp, and I could see my breath as I exhaled. As I walked, the whispers grew louder, and I started to make out words. It sounded like people were talking, but their voices were faint and distant. I quickened my pace, my heart pounding in my chest. The tunnel began to slope downward, and I found myself descending deeper into the earth. The whispers grew clearer, and I could make out phrases like, "Get out while you still can," and "Don't look back." I started to feel a sense of dread, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being pulled towards something. The tunnel eventually opened up into a large, cavernous space. The ceiling disappeared into darkness, and the sound of dripping water echoed off the walls. I shone my light around the room, and that's when I saw them. Old, rusted train cars, stretching out into the darkness like skeletal fingers. I approached one of the cars, and as I peered inside, I saw old newspapers and broken furniture. It looked like people had been living down here, but something had driven them out. I heard a faint noise behind me and spun around, but there was nothing. The whispers had stopped, and an eerie silence had fallen over the space. I took a deep breath and began to explore the train cars, searching for any signs of what had happened to the people who lived here. As I moved from car to car, I started to notice strange symbols etched into the walls. They looked like some sort of code, but I couldn't decipher their meaning. Suddenly, I heard the sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate. They were coming from the far end of the tunnel, and they were getting closer. I froze, my heart racing, as a figure emerged from the darkness. It was tall and gaunt, with sunken eyes that seemed to bore into my soul. I tried to run, but my feet felt rooted to the spot. The figure drew closer, its eyes fixed on me, and I felt a sense of terror wash over me. And then, everything went black. When I came to, I was back in the entrance tunnel, the rusty door creaking as it swung open. I stumbled out into the bright sunlight, gasping for air. I didn't stop running until I was back in my apartment. The door locked and bolted behind me. I never went back to those tunnels, but I'll never forget the feeling of being watched, of being pulled toward something sinister. And when I look out the window at night, I could swear I see a figure standing in the shadows, watching me, waiting for me to return to the tunnels beneath the city.